Hey everybody, Kale here, back again for another reading. So today the question that we are asking is, what would it look like to stand cleanly in this situation without controlling it? Okay, what would it look like to stand cleanly in this situation without controlling it? And we pull the Six of Cups, okay? We actually pulled a reversal, but the reversal is a little bit irrelevant here, in my opinion, for the message today. So we've got a Six of Cups, okay? Sixes are harmony, and cups are relational consciousness or the capacity to bond. So we're asking about how to stand cleanly in a situation without controlling it, and we pull a card that's talking about harmony within relationships and harmony within bonding, which is beautiful. Okay, and so what came through really clearly for me with this card was that to stand cleanly is to stand harmoniously in truth and integrity. Okay, and so we are not necessarily forsaking our truth and our authenticity and our honesty and what's real for us for the sake of harmony. We're not doing that. We're still being honest, but there's also a tenderness to it. There's a gentleness to it. There's an innocence to it. Okay, there's a lot of innocence that connects with this card, and so remembering that we ourselves are innocent, and as well as others as well, that other parties in this situation are also innocent, and an aspect to kind of hone in on with that in particular as it relates to this card is that it's representing also an awareness that the past is not only history but the place where emotional patterns are formed. Okay, and so being able to take that awareness into the situation in terms of what's coming up for you in it, recognizing that is also what's true for others, and not necessarily the same thing coming up, but just again those emotional patterns at play, right? An awareness to both self and others, kind of pain points in that way. And this awareness can anchor us and allow us to remain centered and grounded in the situation, and remembering that again that this is happening for others involved as well can help to some degree maintain a level of openness, a little bit of ease, a little bit of anchoring of like, okay, we're all doing this thing, we're all doing this dance, we're all on this journey, and that's what we're kind of interacting with, and that ourselves as the human beings in this, as the vessels for these experiences, does have a pure and true and innocent nature to it, to our souls, and being reminded of the Fool card, and just the purity and innocence of our souls. Okay, this card also represents, childhood memory or longing may be shaping reality more than is consciously recognized. So what aspects of how you're perceiving the situation are actually being so much more influenced by childhood, by memory, by longing, by those pain points, and that's perhaps a reflection point to sit with. Okay, and that also may be something to reflect on of what could be happening for others in the situation as well. Okay, and so really this is a reclaiming of innocence, a standing in that innocence, and again, being in our truth and integrity, and allowing a gentleness and a tenderness to be there with that, and holding that space for others as well as best as we can. And so I pulled a couple cards from the Green Witch's Oracle deck just to see, what else can be around this for us, if there's any more assistance or just support or anchoring. And we pull the card of Winter. Okay, the card of Winter, which is representing an ending, recharging, and reflection. An ending, recharging, and reflection. And then we've got also Potion, okay, which is invigoration and empowerment. Okay, and so these two cards together, what spoke to me around this was that perhaps we've got a bit of an ending here. Perhaps that this is kind of anchoring differently within this new shift around not controlling it, and being able to release that control because of what we're anchoring into and what we're aware of. could be the end of a cycle, of a pattern. It could be a moment for healing, and that in and of itself is creating kind of an empowerment and recognizing the empowerment that comes with this like gentle truth and honesty and remaining in that integrity, remaining clean, where we can say, you know, I'm being honest here, and I'm really holding space for other perspectives and experiences as well. I'm not sacrificing how I feel and what I'm thinking, and I recognize that that is my experience, and others are having an experience as well, and two things can be true at the same time. And the excitement maybe of really moving through this in that way can feel very empowering and invigorating in its own way. And perhaps also with this ending here, it might represent like, you know, what endings in your life were perhaps hard. What endings could be informing the way you're perceiving or thinking about this situation. Is it an ending that's happening in the situation that is hard for you to let go of, and that you're wanting to control? But the clean thing is to allow the ending, to have your hands off and let the chips fall where they may, as it were, you know, and really accept that. You know, what else? There's a recharging here, right? So maybe there's just a room for like, you know, to stand cleanly in this situation without controlling it. Maybe I need to take a step back. Maybe I need to detach a little bit. I need to recharge. I need to go inward. Maybe there's some rest here for me to get a fresh or renewed perspective, or just to refresh and kind of renew my own spirit or soul or mentality around this, and just, you know, just get a kind of recharging of the heart, so to speak. And we've got reflection. So again, aspects of this that are allowing us to sink deeper into a reflective nature, and allow ourselves to kind of get beneath the reactions and the instincts and the this, that, and to go underneath and into the roots of what's really taking place, and allowing ourselves to really be comforted by that soil, you know, to go beneath the surface, underground, let ourselves kind of sit with and bask in that dirt, in the soil, and the roots, and see what's really there for us. And even things that are challenging, hard, or painful, can have its own kind of like recharging and healing aspect, to really just like be in it and be in the wound or whatever it is that's coming up. Okay. And in and of itself can bring more invigoration and again empowerment to your process, and how doing that at this time can show you what's possible, and how you'll be able to navigate things moving forward. And I feel like there's this kind of call to allow yourself to sink into the dirt, you know, and to know that that's always there for you. You can get really earthy and rooted with it, and there's a safety in that. There's really a safety in that. I'm thinking about as the winds overhead are really can create this kind of chaos, and we can get in emotions and patterns and all these things above ground. You know, there is a safe harbor, a shelter that's there, and finding that for yourself that still allows you to weather the storm, you know, and doesn't mean you're hiding from it. It means you're taking care of yourself, and you're paying attention, right? You're staying conscious, and you're staying present, and you're doing what you need to do to move forward with that open heart, that honesty, that integrity, that innocence, that truth. Okay. So I think that's all we have. Sit for a moment and see if there's anything else that comes in. I hear like a nope, that's complete. Per usual, I have an image of a mountain. It's just like a sense of joy, kind of an awe for the mountain, a reverence for what is, a reverence for this life, a reverence for this process. Kind of regardless of the mountains that stand before us, there's still this smile and this joy and this contentment that's there. Because we know what this life is about, and we're all doing it. So, all right, friends, that's what I have for you today. Until the next one, I hope you stay blessed, stay well, stay safe, and just take really good care of yourselves and those that you love. Over and out.